Childhood is supposed to be innocent, a time of laughter, play, and discovery. But what happens when that innocence is replaced with darkness? When children, some as young as 6, commit crimes so brutal that the world is left speechless. These are the stories of the youngest serial killers in history. In 1968, the world met Mary Bell. At just 11 years old, she strangled 2 young boys in Newcastle, England. Her victims were only 3 and 4 years old. What shocked investigators most was her chilling lack of remorse. Mary carved her initials into one victim's body and later returned to the crime scene as if nothing happened. During her trial, psychiatrists described her as manipulative and cold-blooded, sparking debates about whether evil can truly exist in a child. In the 1870s, America witnessed one of its darkest child killers. Jesse Pomeroy, just 14 years old, lured younger children into secluded areas, torturing and eventually murdering 2 of them. His acts were so violent that newspapers labeled him the Boy Fiend. Even in prison, his cold stare and silence terrified guards. Jesse spent the rest of his life behind bars, becoming one of the youngest convicted murderers in U.S. history. In 2007, the world was horrified by a case out of India. Amarjeet Sada, only 8 years old, was dubbed the world's youngest serial killer. His victims, 3 infants, including his own cousin and sister. Villagers described him as calm, even smiling after the murders. Authorities struggled to understand his motives, with many suggesting he suffered from untreated psychological disorders. Amarjeet's case shocked not just India, but the entire world, proving that age does not define cruelty. In Japan, 14-year-old Seito Sakakibara committed murders so disturbing they changed the country's juvenile crime laws forever. In 1997, he brutally murdered 2 young children, leaving behind handwritten notes filled with rage and hatred. One of his victims' severed heads was left at a school gate, with a note declaring himself as the boy who kills. His case forced Japan to lower the age for criminal responsibility and remains one of the most infamous crimes in the nation's history. In 1993, the UK was shaken to its core. 2 10-year-old boys, John Venables and Robert Thompson, abducted 2-year-old James Bulger from a shopping center in Liverpool. They led him miles away, torturing him before leaving him on train tracks. The brutality of their crime, committed by children themselves, horrified the world. Their trial became one of the most controversial in British history, raising endless questions about punishment, rehabilitation, and whether true evil can be forgiven at such a young age. What drives a child to kill? Experts point to a mix of abuse, neglect, psychological illness, and sometimes simply unexplained darkness. Each case left communities shattered, families broken, and investigators questioning how such innocence could mask such horror. These stories challenge our understanding of childhood and force us to face the question, is a killer born or made? From the streets of Newcastle to villages in India to the cities of Japan, the youngest serial killers remind us that evil doesn't wait for adulthood. Sometimes it begins in the very place we least expect it, in a child's mind. These cases are chilling proof that darkness knows no age. If you want more shocking true crime documentaries, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that begin in childhood.